Amidst the flow of time. Part 5. Time continued to flow, and Mr. Sung-woo entered the second year of his life without his wife. The year since he had lost her taught him not only deep sorrow but also how to live on. The sorrow never completely disappeared, but he was learning to feel gratitude even within the sadness, and to discover small joys as he lived each day. The warm comfort extended by Hannah, Kim Min-soo, and Lee Jong-a on his wife's first anniversary was a great source of strength for him. Just knowing that there were people who remembered his wife made him feel less lonely. While eating instant porridge still reminded him of his wife when she was ill. He was now beginning to accept even the difficult times they shared through that porridge as a part of their precious memories. The weekend farm they had cultivated together still holds a deep place in his heart. Looking at the notebook his wife left behind, he feels her dedication and love once again and gains the courage to continue tending the space, even if alone. That place, touched by his wife's hands, has now become a connection to her. His wife's empty seat in the choir is still noticeable. But the hymns they sang together and his wife's cheerful jokes remain in his memory as beautiful melodies and laughter. On nights when he hugs the duck doll to sleep, he hopes his wife will appear in his dreams, comforting his longing for her. The blog activity and the life of helping others that he started after early retirement have given him new meaning. Small actions like writing articles to prevent Ponzi schemes or requesting corrections for the Relic Information Board add up. And he feels a sense of fulfillment knowing he is having a positive impact on society. These activities are the driving force that helps him overcome the loss of his wife and move forward. Every morning when Mr. Sung-woo opens his eyes, he makes a promise to himself once again. He promises to live a life that would make his wife proud, remembering her. Although his wife is no longer by his side, he will engrave her love and teachings in his heart and live each day to the fullest. He intends to live a sincere and meaningful life so that he will not be ashamed when he meets his wife again in heaven on the day his life in this world ends. It was as if his wife's bright smile appeared before his eyes. He said softly to her in his heart,
I am doing well. Until the day I meet you, I will live without shame.
Mr. Sung-woo's story shows the journey of a man who, even in sorrow, does not lose hope and finds the meaning of life while remembering the person he loves. Time flows and seasons change, but his love and longing for his wife will shine forever like an unchanging star. And he will continue to walk his life's path steadily, following that light.
Up next, story explanation.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're really glad you could join us today. We're going to be digging into some really powerful source material you sent over.
Yes, excerpts from a story in the flow of time. It gives this incredibly intimate view of one man, Sung-woo, dealing with grief after losing his wife.
Exactly. And our mission really is just to explore these specific passages you provided. We're focusing on Sung-woo's experience, particularly 1 year after her death, looking at how he handles the loss, how he remembers her, and how he tries to find a way forward based only on what's in these texts.
Right. This is all about what you shared with us. We're unpacking these specific sources together.
So let's get into it.
And what's interesting about getting this story in parts, like in your sources, is you get these different layers. It lets us see various angles on something really complex, like loss and, resilience.
Definitely.
We'll be sticking just to what these passages show us, specific moments, specific insights from the text itself.
Okay, so the starting point in these sources is pretty clear. It's been exactly 1 year since Sung-woo's wife passed away.
Right.
And right away, the story hits that strange feeling with time and grief, doesn't it? He says time flew by like an arrow, super fast.
Yeah, that phrase really jumps out.
But even though a whole year's gone by, the grief itself hasn't just vanished. The source notes, the intensity might be a bit less maybe, but the yearning and missing her are still, quote, deeply rooted.
That paradox is so common, isn't it? Time flying, yet feeling stuck. It's a really potent image of how grief works. And the sources immediately bring up something important around that anniversary mark. Support from others.
Ah, yes. He felt sincerely grateful for people remembering his wife,
Yeah.
commemorating her with him.
And the sources you gave are specific here. They mention Hana, a neighbor from way back, their newlywed days.
Right. Songdang Jugong apartment. Hana kept sending messages just full of memories, and Sungu found this an indescribable great comfort, it felt like his wife was somehow nearby when he read them.
Wow. That's powerful.
And Kim and Soo, Lee Gyanga too, they sent comforting messages. He felt deep gratitude. It's clear that knowing others were thinking of her, remembering her, gave him great strength.
It really highlights how grief isn't just internal, is it? It's social, too. That shared remembering, it's not just nice. The text shows its actual strength.
But then the story also pulls us right into his private world. Those quiet moments, how just everyday stuff is completely soaked in memory, like breakfast.
Yeah, the instant porridge.
Exactly. And it wasn't just any porridge. The sources explain he bought it in bulk when she's in the hospital, so he could eat quick, not leave her side.
Okay.
Even though it's a bit past date, the taste is the same. And just eating it, boom, it triggers all these thoughts. Wishing he could touch her face again, say more loving things.
The what ifs.
Totally. The text says his eyes get moist with tears. Right there, over breakfast.
That's such a perfect example from the source material, how the most mundane things tied to those big moments can just unleash these waves of longing, painful regrets.
Yeah. And then he's looking out the window, seeing the world buzzing along outside.
And he feels like he's the only one stopped in time.
Right. That contrast. His inside versus the outside world.
Vivid. And the sources remind us of their shared routines, too. Watching TV shows together on the sofa, those quiet walks.
And the house itself.
Yeah.
It's like a container for her presence. Her favorite plants are still there, the picture frames she picked out, the books she was reading. The sources just say, everything made him remember his wife. Simple as that.
The whole space is a memory bank. And he's not passive about it either, is he? He actively looks through photos on his phone.
Yeah, her smiling, travel pics, just everyday stuff. And the text actually shows him talking to the photos, asking, how are you doing? I still miss you a lot.
Wow.
And apparently he finds some comfort in it. Solace, the text says. He tries to bring back the sound of her voice too, calling his name gently, her laugh, even her cute pouting.
Oh, that's specific.
Yeah. And the sounds seem to linger for a second, but then poof, like an echo, they fade back to reality.
That struggle, trying to hold on to sensory details like a voice. The story captures that so well, it's heartbreakingly real.
Then he rereads Hannah's message again. Takes a deep breath. The message apparently mentioned his wife's life, encouraged him. And he admits, he's gradually getting used to her not being there, practically speaking. But the emptiness, it's sharpest in the daily routines.
Like the empty spot in bed.
Yeah. Or no one sitting across from him at meals, no one next to him when he falls asleep. Those physical gaps.
That's where the loss feels huge, day in, day out, just as the story shows.
So this part ends with him resolving to face the day. His steps are heavy, it says, but the love and memories she left, they're guiding him forward, even if just a little.
That quiet pull of connection, it keeps him moving. So after setting that scene 1 year on, the sources then jump back a bit, right? To a really strong memory.
Yeah, the weekend farm, something they did together 2 years prior.
And the description is so alive, as if it were yesterday.
Totally. A sunny spring day, going there all excited with seedlings and seeds.
The story really plays up his wife's pure joy in it. Watching things sprout, ripen. Like a child, it says.
It paints it as more than just a garden plot. It was a precious space built on shared work, shared joy.
Sweat together and shared joy. That's the phrase. And he keeps things from it, tangible links in a box.
A little shovel, watering can, and that worn notebook.
Ah, the notebook. That seems key here.
Definitely. Her handwriting, meticulous, it says.
Yeah.
Recording everything, what was planted where, watering schedules, which plants did well, dates, even cute crop drawings.
You can almost feel her care through that description, can't you?
Yeah. And reading the names of the seeds she planted. It brings back that heavy feeling. Every single thing she touched becomes a reminder of her.
A medium reminding him of his wife's presence. That's how the source puts it. And the idea of going back there alone, it weighed heavily. He pictures himself there, just lonely.
Understandable. A place so full of them, now highlighting her absence. But there's a shift here in the narrative, isn't there?
There is. He closes the notebook, but he thinks, no, he cannot just neglect the place his wife cared for so much.
So he comes to this decision. Maybe tending the farm, even alone, is his way of showing love, deference, the text says.
Yeah, turning that painful reminder into, like, an act of ongoing connection, finding purpose in keeping her cherished space alive. That's a really powerful turn in the text.
He hopes he can go back someday, walk where she walked, and maybe feel her warmth there still.
Later, the sources mention him playing her favorite music, trying to bring that warmth back into the house, reflecting on their life.
And then that conversation about heaven.
Oh, right. That part's intense.
She asked what else he'd want to do there besides just being together again.
What new things do you want to try?
And his answer was visiting all the places they never got to go together. And they promised, okay, let's definitely go together.
Back then, the story notes, it felt like some vague story of the future. But now...
Now it pierces his heart. But, importantly, the sources link that pain to a new resolve.
Right. To live well now. For that future meeting they promised each other. He imagines her cheering him on.
Believing she's supporting him from something.
He's by the window again. Peaceful view outside, grief still inside. And he looks at that farm notebook one more time.
And finds courage to live on from those pages she touched. That tangible memory becomes fuel.
Okay, so as we move towards evening in the narrative, the sources bring up another shared activity. The church choir.
Yeah. They were in it together. The text says it brought them great joy. Practicing, singing, making beautiful harmonies.
And his wife, she sounds like she was the life of the party there. Bright and positive, popular, telling joyful jokes that made everyone laugh.
But now, her seat's empty.
Initially, seeing it made him cry, but now the sources say the pain is maybe duller? Not as sharp, though the depth of missing her remains large.
He remembers catching her eye while singing, talking about practice on the walk home.
Thinking about her jokes again. That ache, not hearing them anymore.
But even with that pain, the story points to a quiet hope. A hope of experiencing those happy times with her again someday. A faint but persistent flame, it calls it, still burning.
That subtle hope, even amidst deep sadness, is another key thread. So evening comes, he's doing chores, folding laundry, cleaning.
And the sources just remind us again, memories still surrounded him.
Which leads to another object, a really specific, tangible one.
The duck doll.
Yeah, the one his wife always hugged when she slept.
He notes its soft feel, how it has her faint scent. Seeing it brings back the image of her sleeping peacefully, holding it.
And we learn he washes it carefully, hangs it up to dry, finding the sight of it clean and sun-dried somehow. Peaceful.
Then that night, this is really intimate. The sources say he sleeps with the doll, just as his wife always did, holds it close.
And his hope, his fervent hope. Is that by holding it, maybe? Just maybe?
She might appear in his dream.
It's such a raw expression of that deep need for connection, isn't it? Holding it tight, trying to feel her warmth, desperately wishing to see her face, even in a dream.
The text describes his sleeping face as having this complex expression. Sadness, longing, but also that little bit of hope. And the doll just stays with him, silently.
And the next morning, she didn't show up in the dream.
No. But the sources say he still felt a little comfort from hugging the doll. The void she left is huge, yes. But her things, the memories tied to them, they give him strength to live.
He puts the doll by his bedside, a quiet ritual. These physical links, even if they don't grant the ultimate wish, they provide something. Solace, strength. That's what the narrative suggests.
Okay, shifting focus a bit now. The sources also look back further to his voluntary retirement years ago.
Right. A bit of backstory. It was sudden initially, but he grew to enjoy the freedom. Less work stress, more focus on himself. Life got calmer and quieter.
And he found a way to make that time feel useful, meaningful. He started blogging, something he was already interested in.
Sharing his knowledge, his experiences, he apparently got great satisfaction from giving people helpful info. The posts were honest and detailed.
And that desire to share knowledge, it takes on a very specific form in the present-day story, doesn't it?
Yes, the Ponzi scheme warnings. He writes about them consistently.
Why? The sources say it's empathy. He sees people getting hurt by fraud, feels pity, and wants to help.
So he uses his knowledge, his analysis, to try and raise awareness, hoping his writing stops even one person from getting scammed. He feels that would be the greatest reward.
And the sources frame this drive, this desire to have a positive impact, as a light that hasn't gone out, even with all the grief he's carrying.
That's a really important point the narrative makes. Finding purpose through helping others, it's like carrying that light forward. There's another example too, right? A smaller one.
Yeah, the prehistoric relic sign. A few days before, he spotted a clear error on an information board.
And he had that moment of doubt, like, what can one person do?
Exactly. But he couldn't stand seeing wrong information out there, so he reported it.
And got a reply saying, yep, thanks to him, they'll fix it.
He felt proud of contributing, even in a small way, to setting something right.
And these activities, the blogging, the reporting errors, the sources say they bring him new vitality. They stop him from just drowning in sorrow.
The pain's still there, absolutely. But the narrative shows him actively striving to move forward despite the pain, finding his own value again by helping others, contributing.
And getting feedback, thank you comments on the blog, confirmation of the correction. It validates that he isn't living in vain.
He even thinks his wife would be happy seeing him do this, which motivates him more to live a life she'd be proud of. He's writing diligently, the sources say, right now.
So these new purposes, they get woven into his current life, fueled by both a present need for meaning and that enduring connection to her.
Okay, so let's try and pull these different threads together now. The story moves into the second year without his wife.
And reflects back. That first year brought deep sadness, yes, and it taught him how to live. Grief isn't gone, but he's learning to find gratitude and small happiness within it.
He remembers the comfort from Hannah and the others at the 1-year mark, feeling less alone because people still remembered her.
The instant porridge, tied to hard hospital times, is now also framed as part of precious memories, showing how even painful associations can shift over time.
The weekend farm, still deep in his heart. That notebook gives him courage. It connects him to her care, motivates him to keep tending that space. It's an act of love.
Her empty seat in the choir room, still empty, still maybe a dull ache. But the songs they sang, her jokes, they live on as beautiful melodies and laughter in his memory.
And sleeping with the duck doll, still doing it. Still hoping for that dream, but finding comfort anyway. It's a way to manage the longing, keep that tangible link close.
And his retirement activities are underscored again. The blogging, the helping people, they provide new meaning and purpose, preventing fraud, correcting info small acts, but they contribute. They're a driving force, helping him move forward.
Every morning, the sources say, he wakes up with this conscious resolve. Remember her. Live a life she'd be proud of. Let her love and teachings guide him. Try his best each day, even though she's not physically there.
And the ultimate motivation the sources give him, it's quite profound. To live a sincere and meaningful life so that he won't be ashamed when he meets her again in heaven.
Wow, yeah.
That's the long game, isn't it?
The story ends with him picturing her bright smile. And he quietly says to her, in his mind, I'm doing well, and I will live honorably until the day I meet you.
So the sources summarize his journey as finding meaning within sorrow, holding on to hope, actively remembering, and just taking life step by step, guided by that unchanging star of his love and longing for her, which, it says, will shine forever.
What Sungwoo's experience shows us through these specific sources you shared is really how memory, those tangible things, support from others and finding new purpose, they don't erase grief.
No, not at all. They get woven into it somehow, allowing life, allowing meaning to continue despite the immense loss.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, about how the objects in our own lives, the shared moments, the ways we contribute, how they can become anchors, or maybe even guides when you're navigating something as tough as losing someone you love.
Yeah. It's a powerful picture the sources paint. Living forward isn't about forgetting. It seems to be about integrating that love, that memory, into a life that honors the past, but still finds purpose and meaning right now.
Definitely something to reflect on, thinking about Sungwoo's journey as laid out in these passages you brought to us, how that integration happens step by step.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps us create even better content.